Tables, graphs, and summary descriptive measures are all used in descriptive statistics to organize, present, and describe data. When it comes to research, descriptive statistics are typically used to describe data using visual graphics, charts, diagrams, and basic math. The values of the mean, median, and mode are referred to as summary measures when discussing measures of central tendency.
Descriptive statistics mainly refers to the summarization of the characteristics of the dataset. It is used to describe the basic features of the data in a study, and it provides simple summaries about the sample and the measures. So together with the simple graphic analysis, descriptive statistics forms a basis of virtual presentations of every quantitative data analysis. I believe that these statistics are very important in the modern world, technically because it helps us people to present a raw data. Without it, it would be really hard for us to visualize what was the data showing, especially if there was a lot of it to be presented. What we don't know about descriptive statistics is that it enables us to present a data in a more specific and meaningful way. That also allows us to have a clear, precise, quick, and simpler interpretation of a data.
Types of descriptive statistics. First, measures of frequency. Count, percent, frequency. It demonstrates how frequently something occurs. Use this to indicate how frequently an answer is made. The amount of times that a data value happens is a frequency. According to the sample table, 3 students are working for 2 hours, 5 students working 3 hours, and etc. The total number of students included in the sample is the sum of values 20 in the column frequency. Most variables of personal information should be employed for frequency and percentage statistics. However, the average and standard deviations for each variable should be calculated if the individuals gave the precise ages. Frequency statistics should be presented if data are discrete, which means that the participant can select different categories. In marriage, for instance, married, divorced, widowed, and separated categories can exist. The qualifications to receive a secondary school education, a diploma, a degree, a postgraduate diploma, a master's, and a doctorate all fall under the category of educational credentials. Percentages are easier than frequencies to understand since the percentage can be understood as follows. Just imagine 100 people were in the sample. How many people would fall into this category out of those
200.
The table shows 55 women to participate if there were
200
research participants. The percentage is derived divided by the total number of participants in the category and multiplied by 100%. The frequency for males is divided by the total number in the sample for a determination of the percentage in table. Then take figure 100%, which results in 40%. Second, measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode, distributes itself by a variety of locations. This can be used to show the most popular response. Central tendency measures such as the mean, median, and mode describe the central point of a distribution for a data set. For instance, to describe the frequency of each data point in the distribution, a person may first evaluate the data and then describe it using the mean, median, or mode, which classifies the data by the most prevalent patterns. To compute the mean or the average, the total number of numbers or values in the dataset is added to obtain a total, and then the total is divided by the number of numbers in the set. On the sample table, add all the numbers from 20 to 37 and divide it by 10. The answer is 26.8. In the middle of the dataset is called the median. The mode of a data collection is the value that is most frequently present. On the sample table, the median is the mean of the two middle values, 25 and 26. Divided by 2, you will get 25.5. And take note that you need to arrange the numbers in ascending order first to get the correct median. For the mode, you need to find the repeating value, which is 37. Third, measures of dispersion or variation. Range, variance, standard deviation. Shows how scores are distributed, which is by specifying intervals. Range is equals to high or low point. Standard deviation is a comparison between observed scores and the mean. To display how dispersed the data are, you may use this expression. To control the mean, it is important to recognize when your data are so widely dispersed that they have an impact on the average. Dispersion is a term that describes how much data is spread out. It delivers a clear picture of the distribution of data disparities, all while explaining how each set of numbers was gathered. The measurement of dispersion allows us to see the variance in each item as well as their mean value. The measures of variation can be determined by calculating several distinct numbers. The range is the difference between the biggest value and the smallest value. There are just two data values where the range is established. If y max and y mean are the two ultimate items, then range is equals to maximum score minus minimum score. The semi-interquartile range is known as the quarter deviation. Q represents the upper quartile, while Q1 connects the lower end of the numbers with the center. The Q2 or the second quartile of a dataset is the median. The third quartile is the one linking the largest number and the median or the Q3. Quartile deviation can be calculated by the mean deviation is the arithmetic mean or the average of the differences between observed values and the central value or mean or median.
Fourth, measures of position. Percentile ranks, quartile ranks. Compares scores and ranks them. Highly depends on test scores. Use these when you are comparing scores to a normalized score, such as a national average. A measure of position is a certain data value's position within a given data collection is a means of measuring location. Like other measurements, there are other ways to measure this one. It allows us to see where a certain value or data point falls in a sample or distribution. These measurements give us an objective approach to look at where it falls. When measuring a value, you can learn whether it's close to the average or if it is well above or below. For quantitative data that falls on some numerical scale, position measures are utilized. Ordinal variables can be specified with measures like first, second, and etc. The cut points that divide the range of the data into equal probability intervals are known as quantiles. Some quantiles are important. In a sorted list, the middle item is the 50% mark, half of the data values are below it, and the other half are above it. Quartiles are based on the division of the data into 4 equal parts. Percentiles are based on the division of the data into 100 equal parts. It is also the 50th percentile of the distribution known as the median. The decimals are tenths, while the quintiles are fifths or 5 equal parts.
So how do we get or distribute percentage using frequency table? As you can see at my given table, I've already answered, and right now I will only teach you how and what is the step-by-step process in getting the answer. So first column, we have x is equals to score, by the way, and below we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next column is the frequency, and below we have 2, 5, 4, 2, 1. And next is the portion equals f over m. And the last column is the percentage. So first step is we have to find the total or the sum of all the frequencies. So 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 14. So the total frequencies is 14. Take note of that. So in line with this, we have to divide the frequency over the total of frequencies. So as you can see right here, we have 2 over 14 and it is equal to 0.143. And the next row is the percentage. So when we're getting percentage, as you know, we have to times it by 100, right? And When we times it by 100, we get the answer of 14.3%. So for the next number naman is, the solution is just the same. You have to divide first and then times it to be a percentage. So note lang is that if you wanna check if your answer is correct, you can sum up all of the percentage and should be equal to 100%. Let's start at the mean. How do we get the mean? So in my graph data example is we have 34, 44, 54, 61, 68, 70, 72, and 76. And the mean here is 57. So how do we get 57? Here is my solution in it. So x is equals to sum of all data divided by the number of data. When you say sum of all data, we have to get the sum or the total sum all data included in my table. So when we added all of this, we have 513 and we need to divide it to the number of data. The number of data is 9 because we have 9 set of numbers in the table. So when we divided it, we get the number 57. So 513 divided by 9 is equal to 57, and 57 is our mean. So let's now identify the mode and median. So we have here the mode as 34 and median as 61. Let's start with the mode. The mode is the pretty easy one to distinguish because you have only to distinguish the number that occurs more than once. So we have here that number is 34 because it occurs twice in the given data. So last quickly reminder lang for the mode is that we can have two modes in one set of data. And when that scenario happens, you will call it bimodal. So now let's proceed to the median. So as you can see, median is just in the middle of the set of data. So it is easy for you to distinguish which one is the median. So why did I put the solution, or why did I have a solution for this? It is because having a solution is actually another way around of knowing what is the number we are finding. So in my solution, x is equals to number of data plus 1 divided by 2. 9 as the number of data plus 1 is equals to 10, and when you divide it by 2, you get the number 5. So why number 5? Number 5 is giving us the direction to see what is the fifth number in the data. So the fifth number is data is 61, and as you can see, 61 is our median. So that is how you get the mode, median, and mean in a group of data.
Conclusion: descriptive statistics is mainly for understanding data. Simply the analysis of data that helps describe, show, or summarize data in a meaningful and easy way. By using some simple graphics, analysis like pie chart, etc., gives visual presentation of data. Descriptive statistics help us interpret raw data in a more meaningful way. It summarizes the characteristics of a data set to create a simpler interpretation that is easier to visualize. Specifying intervals show how the scores were distributed. Dispersion gives us a clear picture of how much data has spread out while explaining how each set of numbers were gathered. By calculating several discrete numbers, we can determine the measure of variation. We can determine the range by finding the difference between the highest and the lowest value.